This is just the most adorable little small town.
I think it's one of the best places to raise a family.
Well, what's nice about Cape May is that you could describe almost all of the businesses as mom and pops.
You want to go there and experience Cape May.
You have a problem, people rally, you feel the love, and you know how important we all are to each other.
Welcome to Cape May Trading Post at Dellas, a coastal community store. Thanks for joining us, Curtis.
It's great to be here.
It's a pleasure. I'll start off with this. And my mother, we were talking before, Karen Thompson was saying, make sure you tell Curtis, A, hello, thank you for doing this, but B, and most importantly, I call him Father Cape May. Instead of Father Christmas, you're Father Cape May. So I thought that was a great nickname. She'll say that more out to dinner. She's like, Father Cape May, he's opening another
that's
property.
So funny. Well, look, your mom goes way, way back with this building here at Congress Hall. It's a flash. I was working down here in 76 as a 16-year-old.
Wow.
Hauling bags, waiting tables in the dining room here. The place was pretty rattle trap. And I cut my teeth in hospitality, trying to make people feel welcome and at home, show them the good parts of what they were coming into. It was an old hotel for sure. The windows rattled, the pipes dripped. But what a view, what a lawn, what a town. And, I was probably 16, 17 when I said one day, I just want to fix this place up. So I've been in Cape May for 40 some years.
And you just hung around and I'm going to, from wait tables, bus tables, move right through it. Like, what was that? How did that go? Take me kind of step by step from a role standpoint.
Well, I just always was one to take initiative. And when I was 16, the general manager was, this place was only a seasonal hotel in the summers. It was owned by a nonprofit religious organization that my grandfather ran. He was a preacher. So it wasn't a normal hotel by any standard. And I found myself having to explain to this GM the quirks of the organization, but at the same time, jumping in and helping. So, we were checking in guests, dealing with food and beverage issues, deliveries, payables, you name it. I just was absorbing. And so as time progressed in 83, I guess I was in college, and the manager, a different one, decided not to come back. And my grandfather said, "Do you want to do it?" Now that was kind of crazy of him to ask me as, a 22-year-old to run this place. But that began a full-time, lifelong relationship with Congress Hall and Cape May.
Wow. And what a relation it's been. And you've given back to this town. This town has given back to you. And this place is just a hub. It's community. It's fun. It's for locals. It's for tourists. It's for, a wedding that we had here that was life-changing for my family. You
guys had quite a wedding.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time right out on this lawn, which is beautifully resodded. But it's become a year-round town. And I think I know you have a large part to do with that. Was that a vision where, okay, yeah, we're just going to build it, and you were tunnel vision, and this is the hotel, and I'm just going to do the best of this, I'm going to focus here? Or it was like, there's a grander plan of like, I'm going to expand in Cape Resorts, and I think it's going to have this effect on the town. Was it
when I finished college in 83, so I had worked as the manager here, you could feel the town beginning to embrace its history.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of motels and things built in the 60s and 70s when the town was sort of embarrassed of its old fuddy-duddy buildings. And then suddenly it became apparent, wow, this could be the future. So I convinced my dad to help me acquire the Virginia Hotel, which was abandoned and derelict.
Crazy.
And spent, 3 or 4 years trying to find a lender to give us some money, and opened that in 89. And it was then, it was a critical path item for us to successfully extend the season to make the economics work. And so, you get involved with the chamber, help start the old original jazz festival a million years ago, music festivals with the Mid-Atlantic Center for the Arts. Now it's called Cape May MAC. But, and then we started to do our own programming, ultimately culminating in this Winter Wonderland thing that really got the
Awesome.
season to go from Thanksgiving all the way through New Year.
Yeah, and then of course this Christmas parade has just
Well,
exploded.
that's always been insane,
That exploded now.
but
though.
it's really remarkable, and the synergy. I love the fact that I think Cape May has done a good job as a community of feeling like a year-round town, feeling like a place that in which people live. Uh, Small businesses, hotels, restaurants, we all need each other, as does, the citizenry here. Congress Hall, we get up to over 1,100 jobs in the summertime and about 400 year round. So,
Wow.
and then I look at when we close, I hear retailers saying, "When are you opening?"
Yeah.
Because we all need each other.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a part of an ecosystem. We've talked to several locals and people like Ross down at Taco and all the things he's done, and he's talking about the year-round employees and managers and this community that's really special. I've been fortunate to be involved in it now since I was a little boy, but now I coach football in the community, volunteer stuff, and it's a unique place. There's not a lot of places like it. Like, to me, from just the water, the bay, Atlantic Ocean, the fishing, then the pageantry of the holidays. Like, it's not just your normal run-of-the-mill town. Talk about Cape May and kind of explain it to someone who's kind of never been here before. Like, where are we? What is this place? Because I want to hear your perspective. It's just a really unique place.
Well, we're the southern tip of the state. And the ends of places are always more interesting.
Yeah.
You think of Provincetown, you think of Key West, you think of the very end. This was high ground. We were mainland. The barrier islands were all sandbars on the eastern border of our state. But as you got down to the Cape, this southern tip, we were actually real soil mainland, not a barrier island. So this was settled first and has that history of being America's oldest seaside resort. It's a pretty incredible legacy. So we've always been a tourist town since the town virtually began. And that, I think, makes Cape May welcoming to strangers. We want them to feel at home. It makes going out to a bar or walking Main Street more interesting because you see the small town vibe of, hey, how's it going? And you say hi to your friends. But then you also have these visitors that are brought into that vibe. And so Cape May Star is just, I think, continuing to rise in a good way. And there's a lot of opportunity for all of us here to keep building something that retains that specialness that you talk about.
I know it's a loaded question, but how has the town changed? I know there's a million ways to answer that, but from when you got here to now, if you could give us some bullet point versions, how's it changed?
I think the biggest thing that you would say is, I can't believe there's this many people here in the off season on a Saturday. That just continues to, like, when you reflect back, holy smokes, it's busy now.
Yeah. And that's because of you. That's because of the merchants. That's because of the restaurants. That's I think it's a commitment from everybody. It's not just
Yeah, it ties into the vision of preserving the past. Let the past inform the future. And the thing that people love about our town is that they create their own, they adopt it as their second home. Guests that come back here year in and year out, this tradition to them means the world. And so we are giving them something that's super important, and it binds people. There's many, many places that feel more ubiquitous. They just throw up new buildings. The architecture isn't respected in the same way, and you lose that vibe. So we're a non-suburban gem in a state of New Jersey that's one of the most densely populated states, and people just love finding their way down to exit 0.
I think one of the coolest parts about Cape May is we have a zoo. We have beautiful resorts like this. We have dive bars to high-end restaurants to year-round establishments like the Lobster House that are just remarkable places to go, and businesses. And then you have a farm. And that's what I always say to people and say, what makes Cape May great? I'm like, you have a beach and you have a farm, and you have Beach Plum, which is incredible. Where'd that idea come from? what's the latest? It's
Well,
it's an
okay.
incredible place. We've stayed at one of the
Look.
cottages there. It was the best top 5 vacation I ever went on, and I biked to it. I live a couple blocks away.
That's cool.
And we went right after COVID. I think we were the first people to stay there right after COVID. And it was a wonderful time.
Well, look, this economy 200 some years ago was fishing,
Yeah.
agriculture, and tourism. We are the Garden State. So farms, to me, were the third leg of the stool. The fishing industry here is still,
Huge.
one of the second largest on the East Coast, I think, in terms of tonnage. Tourism, we know, is a huge draw. But the farming had sort of stopped, and there was a lot of preserved land, but not as much farming. And to me, that agricultural heritage was important. When Congress Hall was getting to its 200th anniversary in 2016, I stumbled upon an old article that talked about Congress Hall's farm. And it was down the road, not far from where Beach Plum is now. So that jumped out at me. It said, Congress Hall is known to have one of the finest tables in the land because they have their own farm. So that was the inspiration. And Beach Plum was there. It was fallow farmland. And we said, let's grow food for our hotels. And we haven't looked back.
It's such a cool place to go have breakfast and sit down and walk through the flowers. It's really, really cool. And it's just, it feeds to the ecosystem of some of the main conglomerates, people in this town that believe in it and reinvest in the place through staffing locally, through local product. And I think that's really strong and interesting. I have to ask, because I've had interactions with ghosts over the years through some of my mom's stores. Have you ever had interaction with a ghost in Congress Hall or the Virginia or one of your other properties?
Well, what I will say first is that these places are spirit-filled
Yeah.
in the best sense of the word.
Yes.
Because they retain the memories and traditions of generations and generations of visitors, of team members, of managers, of owners. And so, yes, it's haunted. There's a hauntedness about it. It's not a scary hauntedness.
No.
Specifically, have I had interaction with the poltergeist? I can't say that I have. But I know it's a topic that people love to talk about in Cape May.
Off day for you. And I know when you're a business owner, my mom never has a day off ever. But what's that look like for you in Cape May?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I walk. So I love walking from here all the way down to the Blue Trails in the state park. That Nature Conservancy next to the state park has some
Beautiful.
amazing elevated boardwalks. You could drive down the end of New England, go through Higbee's, out to Davies Lake. There are so many incredible walks, and I just do that a lot.
A couple quick hitters here as we start to wrap up. Your favorite place to grab a cup of coffee in town?
Well, I'm more of a tea person.
Okay.
I usually make it at my house.
Okay, you're fine. This is okay. We've got all different types of answers, by the way.
I don't have a strict morning stop.
Okay.
If I really want breakfast,
There you go.
and I don't want to be at one of my places,
Yes.
I love the counter at the Lobster House. I think it's just such a throwback. Food is always great.
That's
The
great.
waitresses are always there to chat if you want to.
Yeah.
And it's a favorite spot.
Legendary spot. We're trying to keep that one quiet, but everyone we've interviewed has said, yes, the Lobster House has breakfast, and it's the worst, best kept secret in town. Favorite place for a scoop of ice cream?
Well, I guess been going to Uncle Charlie's forever. It's the closest one to
Yep.
Congress Hall, but there's some new additions in town.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the great things about a walking village like ours is you can stop in at places if you have a sweet tooth at night.
Is there a favorite restaurant in town or one of them? I know this is pressure situations.
That's a really, really unfair question.
I know.
In a town where we're all colleagues.
I know.
I have different go-tos at different times.
Mhm.
I love the Ocean View Diner. I slip in there a lot for home-cooked food that's just really, simple and delicious. I do love going to the Lobster House.
It's great.
I think that We've got so many great options in Cape May that you could dine around constantly. I have popped over to Primal sometimes.
Oh,
It's
great.
across the street from my house. So
Yeah.
I can, you know, check in and say, do you have a table tonight? And just run across the street.
Yeah, that makes Cape May great, and you hit on all different categories, and there is something for everyone and for different times. And even if it's busy in the summer, if you're local, you know where to go, and they usually take care of you, which is really cool. Small town charm. Is there a memory or a time you dealing with a customer or a story from the restaurant hotel business that sticks out to you that fills you with pride, or just a memory of this town that stands really imprinted in your mind?
Gosh, so many, but I will share one. Sadly, in March, the Ides of March, it's coming up here, I guess. We had a pretty significant fire in the Virginia. I think it was 97. And we had to evacuate the hotel. It was full on a Saturday night. Everett room was full. The Hirsch family used to own the hotel up the way at the Atlas or the Montreal. And they took in our guests. I remember they used to also have a beach service, and they had a big truck that they drive rafts around in the summer. So our guests got into that and were taken up there. The firefighters were so incredible. I was in a panic back then. There was no cloud. It was my hard drive was sitting under the front desk, and I had to get it. So they gave me like a silver blanket thing, and I went in the back door, and they helped me get that disconnected to save that information.
Wow.
We spent the evening after they let us back in the building, and they did an incredible job putting out this fire. We knew we would be closed for a while. Wiping down all the furniture to try to protect as much as we could. And our piano player was a guy named Steve Lamanna. And as we were all like at 2 a.m, just drying and moving stuff around, he starts to play on the piano When Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. And the capstone to this story was the next morning. We had been there all night. There were like 20 or 30 of us. And Tom O'Hara, the O'Hara family owns Uncle Bill's.
Yep.
He has that old truck that says Uncle Bill's.
Mm-hmm.
He drives down Jackson Street, and it was full of styro boxes of pancakes, eggs, bacon, sausage, coffee. And he walked in and said, "Hey, you guys, here you go."
Wow.
And just behind him, our banker walked in from a local bank, who just gave me a big hug and said, "We got your back." And that's being in a small town. You have a problem, people rally, you feel the love, and you know how important we all are to each other.
That's strong stuff. And we'll close with this. What's the next 10 years in Cape May look like for you, for Congress Hall, your properties, this wonderful place for everybody?
We want to be the best caretakers we can be. I think there's opportunities here to solidify the year-round nature of what we've become. And to do that, we want to add some amenities that will help us get through that first quarter in a robust manner. So we're around and excited to see the town really take care of itself in that way. You asked a question, how has it changed? In one sense, and in a great sense, I think Cape May is still Cape May.
Yeah.
And so many places lose their soul. We have not done that. Their stresses, people are going to disagree. Are there too many of this or not enough of that? Or wow, we need more people living here year round. And these are challenges that we've got to address. But at root, we are far more blessed than most communities that I know of. And we need to be good stewards of that.
Curtis, thanks for your time.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.